How's it going, friends? Right now I am in a place called Downtown Park in a very cute little downtown in a first-ring suburb of the Twin Cities, and that suburb is called Hopkins, Minnesota. And that's because today's video is a virtual tour of Hopkins, Minnesota. I'm excited to show you all this one. It's a little bit different than some of the other stuff we've been doing. Let's get into it. How's it going, y'all? My name is Jesse Lynch. I'm a real estate agent here in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. I have a real estate team called To the Twin Cities, but this YouTube channel is devoted to two things. The first of which is teaching people about real estate, buying, selling, investing in real estate. The second of which is showing off the amazing place that I live, the Twin Cities of Minnesota. If either of those two things appeal to you, do us both a favor. Subscribe to the channel, click the little bell to get notified, give this video a thumbs up, and say what's up in the comments. I would appreciate it very, very much. Today's video is a virtual tour of one of the first-ring suburbs in Minnesota, and that is called Hopkins, Minnesota. I'm very excited to show you around. I'm gonna go pick up Alex. Let's get after it, huh? All right, y'all, right now we are in downtown Hopkins. It's like the main street. It's where all of the cool old shops are. And there's a lot of really great small businesses. Personally, I come here probably the most for antique stores, which might seem weird, but I like cool old things. And Alex said he grew up coming to a lacrosse store.
Yeah, the North Star lacrosse store is actually the biggest retailer in the Midwest for lacrosse. And I used to play lacrosse at the Hopkins Pavilion, so I was here all the time.
That's what's up. By the way, it's super windy. Apologize for any wind noise. What do? We got to get this done. So, like all these suburbs lately, Hopkins has some real wacky borders, and I'm actually not even going to try to tell you what streets they are because it's crazy here. So more or less, to the north is St. Louis Park, to the east is Edina, and to the south and west is Minnetonka.
Niche.com gave Hopkins an A grade, and it also gave the schools an A as well. But GreatSchools.com, which is a little bit more harsher grading, gave Hopkins a 5 or a 6, I believe.
Yeah.
But one thing that Hopkins beats out other West Metro schools on is diversity. And there happens to be a couple immersion schools, I think a Chinese immersion and also a Spanish immersion. There's also a really good private school called Blake.
Hopkins has an average single family home price of around $345,000, which is really close to the entire Twin Cities metro, which is $335,000. And right now there's like such a huge range of houses that are available in Hopkins for sale. It's like $265,000 on the low end, and then all the way up to like 1.2 million. Hopkins is kind of wild for that reason. But overall, Hopkins is like a pretty small community, and it's a first-ring suburb. It's really close to the cities. It's probably like 15 minutes from my apartment, which is in downtown, and probably even closer if you're going to the western edge of downtown. Here's a restaurant with like vegan food. There's Chipotle on the other side. There's a brewery right here. I mean, it's got a lot of cool stuff in this downtown area. And then there's kind of a interesting combination of a lot of apartments.
I think one takeaway from Hopkins is that a lot of the small shops that are around here are long-standing and they haven't been corporatized like places in Wayzata or Maple Grove. There's a lot of just small businesses that have been around for a while.
Yeah, and actually like right now where we're walking on this main street is sort of just the edge of the downtown area. And here it's becoming to seem a little more corporatized size. You know, these are like all like more modern loft buildings that have been probably built within like the last 10 years. But honestly, it does put kind of a nice cap on the downtown area, and I'm not too mad at it.
Not at all.
Cool. Let's go for a ride. All right, y'all, right now we are at Burns Park, and Burns Park, pretty legitimate little park. Playground, we're on a splash pad right here. Tennis court, b-ball court, there's a baseball diamond over here. Got facilities and whatnot. Pretty cool little park tucked into Hopkins. But anyways, we're here, we're gonna talk about pros and cons of Hopkins.
I think my favorite part of Hopkins has to be the cute downtown area. Lots of cool shops down there, and it's also very convenient. It's only about 10 to 15 minutes to the city, or if you want to go the other way.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of the charming part about Hopkins is that it has a little bit of a small town vibe. That downtown really like lends to that, but then also like the houses, the housing stock. It's very diverse housing stock, by the way. Basically 265,000 up until 1.2 million, like I said earlier. And yeah, you get houses as old as 1893, and you know, and then they're still managing to somehow put new builds in, even though Hopkins is 98% developed. And I would say that my biggest con, the thing that I dislike the least about Hopkins, even though we're standing in one right now, but there's not that much in the way of natural space, park spaces, and just like outdoor activities.
I'd say my least favorite is probably, you know, within a couple blocks of the downtown area, there's all these industrial buildings. And so just the whole city of Hopkins is very packed tight with industrial buildings.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, right now, obviously we're not around industrial buildings, but like we're not far. To get anywhere in Hopkins, I feel like you have to drive by some not super pretty industrial places. I think one thing that a lot of people would think is a con, I guess it's not if you're a renter, but there's really low home ownership rates in Hopkins. And I don't mean that to say that I think a bunch of the houses are rental houses, but more so like there's not that many houses and there's a lot of apartments. The city has been developed that way, that there is a very high volume of rental units and there's not that many single family houses, which is kind of another con, which is that if you really love Hopkins and you're like, that's where I want to live, I want to buy a house there, there's not going to be that many houses for you to choose from. You might have to wait and wait and wait until the right one comes up. But maybe you have Hopkins, Minnetonka, Edina, St. Louis Park on your list, then cool. Then if Hopkins is an option, it could be a really solid option.
And I think the last big con would be, this might not be something that bothers you if you're looking for a small town vibe, but there's not a lot of big box conveniences within the Hopkins vicinity. And so if you're looking for a Target or a grocery store, you're gonna have to leave Hopkins and drive there.
Yeah, I mean, there might be like a couple grocery stores, but like overwhelmingly, other than like the cool shops in the downtown area, you're probably leaving Hopkins. Even the school is in Minnetonka. So even Hopkins High School is in Minnetonka. Kind of nuts, but anyways, we aren't gonna leave Hopkins. We're gonna show you around. Let's do it. right now we're in front of the Park Valley Playground, but we're not really here for the playground. We're here basically because this is like a good little slice of Hopkins. This feels close to like quintessential Hopkins as you can get. The brunt of these houses were probably built between the 30s and the 70s. There's a lot of ramblers, a lot of ranches, and it feels a little bit Edward Scissorhandy, but in a good way, I would say. And if you've been watching these lately, you know that we started doing it for fans of section. Basically, if you're into this place, you might be into this place. And as far as Hopkins go, I would say 3 that come to mind for me are St. Louis Park, Golden Valley, and Minnetonka. And not just because that they share sort of similar geographic location, but because they're similar in vibe. The era of the homes, the era of the buildings, the downtown district being sort of cute and quaint and having smaller companies, and also not having a ton in the way of big box conveniences, and also generally close to downtown.
Yeah, and on the vibe scale, I would also add Robbinsdale, New Hope, Falcon Heights, and St. Anthony to the list. While geographically, a lot of those areas are located in different parts of the metro, they all do possess a lot of the same characteristics.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that. So if you're not very specifically looking for, to be on the western edge of the metro, some of those are really, really good examples. I think probably the closest vibe would be St. Anthony.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think they're very similar.
All right, y'all, we do kind of end a lot of these this way, but I have a closing that I got to get to, and Alex has showings he's got to get to. So thank you so much for watching. Like always, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get notified, give the video a thumbs up, say what's up to Alex in the comments, and feel free to ask us questions, leave requests for areas that you'd like to see. We will eventually get to them. We're going to get this whole metro done, I swear, and then we'll probably just start again because it'll be a year from now. But anyways, thank you again. Appreciate y'all very much. And yeah, talk to you soon.